Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to do an episode where it's pretty much, and that's the thing, like, I'm just going based off of, I'm not going to say speculation, but just based off of people that I've met throughout my life where they have similarities, with just a robot. Like, it's something where I'm like, you could see them in a crowded room and you'll be able to, like, if you had to, like, pair up people, the people that I've met throughout my life that remind me of just a robot, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, nah, you guys are definitely that match, so... But anyways, but no, I overall wanted to, I guess, more if people were wanting answers on trying to figure out why is just a robot the way he is, because he's never going to come out and say it. He's never going to come out and tell the truth. But the thing is this, and I've said this, or at least stuff like this when I have done reaction videos and I've done videos talking about him and stuff, but he's an attention seeker. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to have it where he's the only, I guess, like he wants to be that person where he's the only one in the middle of the spotlight, but he doesn't want his, and that's the thing, if he goes and says like, oh, well, there's friends and this and that I've also shared the spotlight with, are those genuine friendships? It's like, did any friendship that you ever had in your life, was it a genuine friendship? Because my thing is this, those would be the ones that's judging you. Those would be the ones that would be looking at you differently, where it's like it ain't no strings attached friendship. Because me personally, I think that's everybody that he's ever collaborated with, everybody that he's ever had, like, just they've done some sort of work for him. There's always been some sort of strings attached. Oh, you make me this thumbnail, I'll shout you out in my video. You help me with this video, I'll tweet out telling people to subscribe to your channel. Like, there always has to, but it ain't never something where he goes out of his way and he's doing something for somebody. It's always somebody doing something for him. Why? Because he's the big YouTuber. He's the guy. Well, at one point in time, he had 200,000 subscribers. I feel like now people, they just only doing it for the money. But yes, at one point in time, people were doing it because just a robot was the center of attention. Everybody was focused on him. He, at one point in time, was probably the most popular person in the art commentary community. Is that what they call it and stuff? But yeah, he was probably, in my opinion, I would say that I guess, seeing the other names and then just, kind of just doing my own little research. Yeah, it does seem like that. He definitely was that voice where everybody in the art commentary community could be talking, you're going to hear his voice. Everybody's going to stop and be all like, wait a minute, what is he going to say? What is he going to do? Because, and that's the thing where it's like with him and his fans, and I'm like, man, you would think that his fans would have realized that at some point in time that they were being used. But I don't know, I guess like it's like the apple don't fall too far from the tree, because you can try to explain things to just a robot. He's not going to listen unless it's something that's going with what he is thinking or what he believes or whatever and stuff, and his fans ain't no different. So that's why it's like when you go back and you just even seen the interactions that I had with his fans, if you go back and see the interactions that other people have had with his fans, it's always the just a robot narrative. It's never the mutual narrative or mutual agreement or let's agree to disagree, stuff like that. No, it's always you're going to listen to just a robot and you are going to like it. That's always been the business with him and his fans. My thing is this, if that wasn't the case, prove me wrong. Prove to me that the 4 years where I was dealing with just a robot and I was dealing with his fans, prove to me that was fake, that never happened. But my thing is this though, why did that happen? Like when we sit down and we look at that, or even if we want to throw any other, I really don't know too much about other people when it comes to just a robot and his fan base. See, and that's the thing too, because they make it seem like that people be so focused on just a robot. They make it seem like that, oh, they're always paying attention to something that he's doing, or like the drama that he's got himself in the middle of and stuff. But how did he get himself in the middle of that drama? Because me personally, and you know what, I could be wrong, but I'm just going based off my own personal experience. I feel like anybody that has ever gotten into it with just a robot was never the one that started. They was never the one to start the drama. Again, leading right back to how I started off this episode. He wants to be the center of attention. So, of course, he's going to go out. He's going to start drama with people at VidCon. He's going to start drama with people in the community that he's a part of. He's going to exit out that community and find other people to get into it with and start drama with them. Because that's the thing with people that want to have the center of attention. They want to stand out. They want everybody to be focused. Like, I can think back on like kids that I went to school with, like back when I was in elementary, and he ain't no different. You knew what kind of kid he was growing up and stuff. But there's this one particular kid I remember where he always, I mean, it seemed like it was like every grade I had, like there was that one kid that just acted out. They had no reason for acting out. They just wanted to act out, cause problems with people. Nobody wanted to be cool with them. Like, they were definitely one of those kids that sat alone at the lunchroom table. Why? Because people, they knew what they were about. They knew that they was trouble. They knew that they were problems. And I'm like, fam, I'm not trying to have it where, and I guess like blending in just a robot situation and this kid is that, so this kid would do some stuff, right? He'll like get himself like in timeout or sent to the corner or sent outside, whatever and stuff. But anyways, nobody will be chilling with him. Like, yeah, you might see where they might chill with him like the first couple of times. Eventually they see that this kid's a problem. And they're like, nah, bro, I can't get myself in trouble. I ain't trying to have it where I'm out here facing punishments and stuff because of this kid. Fast forward, Just a Robot, YouTube, all that stuff. Look at how quickly people just abandon the Just a Robot, I guess, like love train or something like that Just a Robot circle. He gets caught up in this drama with Cinebear, and his fans are unsubscribing from him literally every single day. I feel like in the past year, this has probably had to have been Just a Robot's most because next month is going to be a year since all this stuff had happened. I really don't know what's going to happen next month. I don't know if we're going to celebrate. I don't know what's the plan. I don't know if I'm going to get invited out to a party or something. But anyways, it's been a year, and I would have to say this has probably been the most unsuccessful year of just, at least when he was have it where I was going through drama. At least I was like growing as a content creator. Yeah, it might not been that a whole lot, but still though, like I was gaining subs, I was gaining views. The only thing that was limiting me were the dislikes and the hate comments. Oh, and I mean, I guess like, yeah, well, I don't know. I wouldn't really count the videos that was being made about me, but dang, even when like I was going, when he put me through all that drama, I feel like I had a better time, because my thing is this. I looked at what I had did, and I pretty much, in today's terms, I stood on business, because it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to allow somebody to change my opinion on content that I like. Now, when you try to put Just a Robot in the shoes of me, it's like, did you like that form of content? Did you like going out of your way and defending a pedophile or a groomer, whatever you want to call the girl and stuff? But did you genuinely like doing that video? Because if you did, that's the problem. That's the issue. You're liking the wrong things. You're doing the wrong things, and you're trying to make people, quote unquote, understand that it's quote unquote right. It's not right, bro. It's not. Anything that you have done throughout your, because there one video, it was June the King. Now, I don't know if that situation was real or not, but it was like they were talking on his earlier days on the internet, and it was, I guess, allegedly he drove somebody to off themselves. Now, I don't know if that was the case or not, but my thing is this: if that is the case, it's like, fam, to me, it really trips me out that fast forward some years when me and him gets into it, that has one of his fans go out and pretend to be suicidal. So it really tells me that there isn't no limits to Just a Robot. I mean, even when there was the one video that I was watching of his where he was talking on how I was processing one of my childhood friends, like this was like, I would call him a childhood friend. Like, this wasn't a friend that I had talked to or was chilling with every single day. Because I think, yeah, I probably would have been a little bit more emotionally broken and stuff if this was somebody that I was extremely close with. But still, this was somebody that when we had classes together, we talked on the regular. Like when we seen each other, I still remember the last time I seen this friend, and this was the friend I was telling you guys about. Well, it was like that Just a Robot he was talking about in one of his videos. It was a friend friend of mine that got shot and killed at a party. And it was, I'm trying to think, it was, who was it that brought, it's a YouTuber. They are currently working on a video about Just a Robot. They haven't put this video out yet, but they brought it to my attention that Just a Robot had talked about how I was processing one of my friend's death. Now, I hadn't watched any of Just a Robot's videos because I didn't particularly care for them. It's one of those things where I'm like, hey, look, if you don't like my content, if you don't like what I'm doing, fam, I'm going to pretty much follow my own advice. I'm not going to watch your content, but at the same time, it's like, to me, it just don't make no sense. You getting mad at me about my content, but so I did do a video where I was talking on that, where I was talking on, like, you know, the dangers of going to parties and all that stuff, because it's like, you know, if you don't know everybody there, it's like, obviously you gotta ditch the spot, you gotta leave, because I'm like, even after that situation, there was another cousin by marriage where he got shot and killed at a party. So that's why I was like, man, you know, it's things like that I don't really feel too comfortable talking about, because, for an example, Just a Robot, he's going to figure out how to turn it into some form of content, you know, and that's something where I'm like, fam, I don't even know why something like that had to have been mentioned in the video, because let it have been me talking on something, I guess, like, in his, that's going on within his family, I would be out as the bad guy, I would be out as the villain, but it's okay for him to do it. See, it's that hypocritical mindset. It's like, bro, that's not gonna last that long. But anyways, so yeah, back in 2016, friend of mine gets shot and killed at a party. I talked about it in the video. Just a Robot was trying to criticize me on how I was processing my friend's death. My question is how is that content? How is that something? How do you even fix your mouth to even talk on something like that about another person? I can care less how you feel about me. I can care less on how upset I done made you. But when we're talking about like something content creating related, anything that I got going on in my personal life, it's one of those things where I'm like, fam, if you don't want me to say something that's going to, like, I mean, shake you to your core, because that's one thing that I was good at in a way, you know, growing up, because I was like, yeah, I was one of those kids that I like to fight, you know, like I like to throw hands, but I knew that I was going to get into a lot of trouble. But I'm like, okay, I know I can't get in trouble if I say, you know, if I use my words. I'm like, okay, you guys want me to use my words? I'm going to use my words. And so, yeah, that was one thing about it, was like, I could think back on when I was in school. It was this one girl, she called my friend the N-word. I made fun of her weight. I'm like, I can care less. And that was always the business anytime I seen her. I'm like, the thing is this, she had that one time to call my friend the N-word. Any and every time after that I seen her, yeah, people probably would have called me a bully. But my thing is this, though. I wasn't one of those people where I'm like, I'm just going to go out of my way and just bully you. But I am going to get even, and I'm going to, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to get even into my likings. Now, yeah, I don't talk with that girl. I ain't chill with her. I remember times before she tried to befriend me on social media, and I'm like, no. I'm like, and if I see you in public, I'm going to ignore you. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I've learned to use my words, and I've learned to use them well. But as I get older, I realize that there are a lot of battles in my life that I'm like, okay, fam, I don't need to be wasting my time, you know, with this battle. So I would say I've gotten a little bit wiser. As I've gotten older and stuff, I realized that there are certain things that I shouldn't put myself a part of. Do you think Just a Robot has the same mindset? You know, do you think when a conflict, or if he's getting into it with somebody, or let's just say somebody is trying to start some drama with him, right? Let's say, yeah, just with all the stuff that's going on right now. But I feel like that, you know, you're looking and seeing like how he's acting right now, because even the op block, where they've been trying to, I guess, like, I don't know whether it's have a call or or if they're trying to like just interview something, I don't know, but overall they're trying to get in contact with Just a Robot. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because right now we're currently looking at a scared Just a Robot. He's scared of what might happen next with this whole situation that he's currently going through right now. And that's why he's trying to limit his content. That's why he's not trying to interact with people as much, you know, because even with the small little interaction that he had with me on Twitter not too long ago, it's like, yeah, that it was one of those interactions where it's like you got to see this man for who he really is. he's sad, he's alone, and he's a loser. And it's one of those things where it's like, I was watching, it was, whatchamacallit, Chris the Narc. Yeah, he did do a video, recently. I think it was, reacting to his response video and stuff. And, I was all like, it's funny how there is like that short, part where he was calling Just a Robot a loser. And I'm like, dang, it's one of those like reality check moments where it's like, nah, he really is. Like, when you sit down and you think of his life, when you think of his content creating career, when you think of everything that this man has been through, he really is a loser. He had a crazy upbringing. He had a crazy start to his content creating career, and he had a crazy end to his content creating career. I pretty much would say his content creating career then ended, because I don't even think did he upload any videos? I don't think he did. Who is this? Why is there like a random stream? It was somebody had rated out. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, what am I looking at right now? But anyways, yeah, let's check his channel real quick. Let's see if he's uploaded anything since that whatchamacallit, that response video. I don't even know why he even uploaded that response video. There ain't no way his channel is he deleted his channel. There ain't no way he deleted his channel. Nah, hold on. Okay, no, there we go. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, nah. Well, his channel didn't pop up. Oh, no, he did. He uploaded a video 5 days ago. And, it was after the response video that he uploaded. That was one thing that I did not know, that he took down the other response video. And yeah, because I went back, because it was, who was I watching? Yeah, it was Diesel Patches. I watched this video, and he really did take down that response video. Wow. He's I think that's what he is trying to do, though. He's trying to, again, control the narrative, make it seem like that, he didn't say this or he didn't, because there is going to be a point in time where somebody calls him out on some stuff, and they're going to be all like, and he's going to go ahead and say, just like how he was saying with me, oh, prove it, where's the proof? I'm trying to see the proof and all this other stuff. And it's like, fam, you literally uploaded it to your channel. What are you talking about? So yeah, it's one of those things where he likes to be that type of person where he's all about this proof, and then it's like when proof is provided, and then it's like he's trying to, I guess, like, justify it, like, whatever it is that he did. Because even with that situation with stalking the people at VidCon, he's like, oh, where's the proof that I was stalking them? I wasn't stalking them and stuff. I don't know what you guys were talking about. And if there was a video of him, like, literally chasing, I mean, there was the video where you can see that they seen somebody, they just didn't show his face. Because I think at the time being, they were trying to protect his identity. And I think they did say that when all that stuff, like, was going down with Cinnabear, when they talked on their story. But then when all that stuff had happened, they was like, okay, well, I need to, I guess, like, in case if people, that makes videos about Just a Robot and then they want to go to VidCon, be careful if you see some Lord Farquaad or some dude that looked like Chris Griffin from Family Guy, but a cracked out version of Chris Griffin. But anyways, be cautious if you see somebody that looks like that. But but with that situation, he was trying to say that he wasn't stalking them. But you have multiple witnesses that said that you were. So who, at the end of the day, who are we supposed to believe? You or the witnesses and the people that were involved? So that's why I'm like, fam, it's one of those things where it's like, I think his days of like trying to control the narrative on stuff, it's over. But it's one of those things where I'm like, hey, look, bruh, my advice to Just a Robot, he's most likely not going to take my advice, but my advice to him, quit content creating. It's not for you. It never was for you. And it's something where I'm like, I'm all about like motivating people to be better. You're far from being better. You're far from even being a decent person. And it's one of those things where it's like, you really need to find yourself. You really need to take the time to better yourself versus trying to, let me review some movies and TV shows on YouTube. Don't nobody care about your reviews. Don't nobody care about your reviews. They don't care about your responses. Any form of content that you put out, nobody cares about it. Not one single person. If anybody does say, oh man, welcome back, Just a Robot, welcome back, the only thing that they're trying to do is build you back up so you could get back in the drama again. But they even don't care about your content. Even if that's not the case, eventually it's going to be another person that takes over that YouTuber's mind or that fan's mind, and then they're going to be watching somebody else. And you're going to find yourself in the same position that you were in when you very first started back in 2014. nobody watching your videos, nobody supporting you, nobody helping you out. There's going to be people that are helping you with thumbnails, this and that, blah, 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 where they're all like, oh, I'm getting paid better doing this. Or it's going to be a lot of people just overall wanting to avoid you. They're going to be like, hey, bro, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know, so it's like, I think it would be best if you stop contacting me. He's going to figure out some way, somehow to try to make them feel bad. That's to anybody that is still in contact with Just a Robot. If it does get to that point where he tries to make you feel bad about some stuff, don't fall for it. You know, it's like you overall know what kind of person he is at the end of the day, but do not fall for any of his Just a Robot tricks. So, but anyways, yeah, I felt like that, you know, I needed to lay out some truth about Just a Robot and stuff. You know, yeah, he's just one of those individuals where it's like he doesn't need to be on the internet. You know, I think he's trying to hold on to something that's not there, and it's like, fam, you got to move on. You got to do something far more productive with your life. You claim to have a girlfriend, okay, focus on her. Better that relationship, you know, or get cool with your family or something. I don't know, you know, find hobbies, get into painting, play video games, just do something where it's going to limit your interactions with people, online and offline, because you don't need to have no interactions with nobody. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.